Good afternoon, everybody. It's March 8, 2026. Yes, we all lost an hour of sleep, and I don't like it. I'm not happy about it. But thank you, everybody, for joining in the live stream last night. It's been brought to my attention, and I noticed it as well, that the live chat box is missing on the replay. I have not seen that happen in probably 2 years. I mean, it's happened one other time. I don't know why, because when I set up the live stream, there are little boxes to click off about the chat and the chat replay, who can participate. I checked off all of the boxes for the replay, and generally it takes longer for YouTube to process the live stream, especially given it's 2 hours long, given that there is a live chat replay. It started processing early this morning, and it was still processing, I guess, around 10 o'clock this morning, and then it was complete. But the live chat is missing, so I did send YouTube a message about this problem to see what happens, to see if they can get the live chat back. So to the best of my ability, I'm going to tell you what was said in the live chat. Okay, so in the live last night, we came on and we were talking a lot of chatter about what's been happening to us individually. I mentioned a website from somebody that I've known since 2017, a targeted person. It's called targetedhumans.org. And I posted a link to that in the comments section of the live chat. The live chat is the only place that you're permitted to post URLs or directing people to your personal YouTube channel. Any kind of hashtag or URL in the comments section of any of my videos, if you use a curse word, SHIT, the F word, it is all held for review. When it's held for review, it doesn't appear under the comments section, so you won't see it. And I might not get to those hidden comments for a day, or sometimes even 2 days if they don't appear. So please do not use hashtags or URLs. I've said it multiple times, and from now on, I am not even going to mention it again. I will just summarily delete those comments with a hashtag or a URL or profanity. Okay, so that's that. They are held for review by YouTube, not just by me. And then that takes me an extra step to have to read them and approve them. Then when they're approved, they go back into the comments section, but then they still come up for me to review because I have not liked or commented on them. So that's actually a negative against the channel, so I will summarily delete those comments with hashtags or URLs. That appears to be the person's agenda, that they want to hashtag certain things so that they can locate their comments again. Don't do it. If you want to locate your comment again, remember what video you posted it under, or cut and paste them into an email to yourself, for the day. Let's say you commented on certain videos, cut and paste them into an email to yourself. So I also read from the book The Criminal Fraternity, Servants of the Lie by Sol Esprit. I spoke about demons and how they relate to the criminal fraternity. The criminal fraternity are police, judges, politicians, and lawyers. And at the end of the discussion, I mentioned how pets are targeted too. A lot of people were checking out at that point because they either don't have pets or they don't want to hear how horrific it can be. But this is the reality of being a targeted person and having your pets targeted. And also, sometimes people are targeted or not aware of it, but it's their pets that are displaying the anomalies and having to go to the vet and spend thousands and thousands of dollars only for the vet to say, I don't know what's wrong with your cat. I don't know what's wrong with your dog. I don't know what's wrong with your hamster. I don't know what's wrong with your chicken, your farm animals, because that's the effect that these weapons have on animals. It's not something that a regular physician, a veterinarian, would be privy to. I mean, unless, of course, they're involved in your targeting and they're gaslighting you. But for the most part, most physicians and most veterinarians are not familiar with the effects of electromagnetic fields on animals, pulse microwave radiation, or directed energy weapons, the burns and the cuts and the bruises, or the infestation of pests and parasites smart dust and nanotechnology would have on a pet. Okay, just the way they would have on you. But for the most part, real physicians, unlike veterinarians, have gone through perhaps more stringent and targeted education in the specific area that they're practicing. Could be general practitioner, could be surgical, could be pulmonary, could be obstetrician, it could be a dental practitioner, whatever it is. They're experts in their field, but not necessarily experts in what happens in their field when you're a targeted person, although some of them are privy because they're part of the problem in ignoring it, okay? So we did discuss that briefly. There was conversation, as usual, of what's happening into the lives of the people in the chat, venting and stuff like that. There were a couple of new people in the chat. And what else were we talking about? I did post a link to the Targeted Humans Handbook, not the handbook, the website, and the obituaries that have been started or not updated in its entirety, and that Skizit Powers is actually an expert in some of the information that she has posted on her website, some of which I really can't discuss on the channel because sometimes in discussing this particular topic that begins with the letter M, it gets removed or flagged or whatever. But you can go to the website yourself and see what I'm looking at. There were also on the website a section for TI, targeted individual injuries. Okay, now these injuries could be anything. They could be anything from a burn to a cut to a bruise to spots, bald spots and stuff that are in certain shapes or whatever. It could be pictures of nanotechnology. And I submitted 2 of mine, and they are on the TI injuries page. And I have no problem telling you what they are. One of them is the 2 cuts behind my ear. It's a left ear, you can see there. And then on the left-hand side, if you scroll down, there is my calf, where there was a covert surgical procedure cutting 2 parallel slices in my calf, which were quite large. They were about 3 inches long. Now, this is not your typical surgical procedure done by, like, a medical physician, okay? This is something done by these psyops, these black ops, for torture and to harm the exterior body of an individual who I actually had zero, I will say I had 0 scars on my body before I moved to Kentucky. 0. Even in giving birth to my daughter, I did not have any surgical procedures that would warrant an incision. Okay? So that's why I know that I am being used here as a test subject in Jackson County, Kentucky. And obviously I can prove it by the marks on my body, which is another reason why they isolate the victim, because they don't want other people to see what's happening to you. It's a big dark secret. So I apologize about the chat replay. It's not something that I did. I did alert YouTube about it. You're welcome to alert YouTube about it. Ask, what happened to the live chat. But, I don't want to flag the live by too many people making those comments. But you can leave the comments underneath the video so that YouTube could see that, because I did file an issue with the live not appearing and wanting to know why. So I wanted to also discuss, and I listened to this early this morning. Now, I'm not on TikTok anymore. I do have a TikTok account, but I actually removed the app from my phone. It was taking up a lot of space, taking up more time. But there was a YouTube creator that created a video about a TikTok influencer. Evidently, she's a psychic or whatever. And evidently, whatever her intuition was telling her, or her tarot cards or whatever, was that there was an Idaho University professor who she claimed, and she repeatedly, not just once, but to the point where it was incessant, that she was claiming that this university professor was a killer, took part in a crime of which she did not. So this TikTok influencer creator was defaming and slandering this university PhD professor, claiming that she committed crimes that she did not. There was no proof, there was no evidence of her having committed these crimes, but nevertheless, the way defamation works is that she's a university professor, and TikTok has way more views on some of these videos than some of even YouTube videos. It went crazy. Everybody was chiming in that this university professor committed these felony crimes when she did not. It became a huge problem for her. And rather than sit back the way you and I do sometimes when these psyops come at us, I have a cyber stalker that creates videos about me and slanders me and talks about me by name, and oh, that woman in Kentucky, oh, she's doing this or she's doing. I don't pay attention to this. I am not in junior high school anymore. I'm a senior citizen. I don't have time for this bull crap. But this is what psyops are about. This is what my favorite Bureau of Investigation, the FBI, and InfraGard and fusion centers are renowned for. Flooding the internet with these perpetrators to harass people into responding. I'm not going to respond. But nevertheless, this TikTok creator had no idea that she was going to be sued by this professor. The professor had had enough. It's sort of like Robbie Starbuck, who is a YouTube influencer. He and his wife is a musician. They live in Tennessee. He's very outspoken, very well spoken. He actually had Senator Rand Paul on his channel in his last video, because evidently he's a targeted person, and through all the Google searches and whatever, and Facebook or whatever, they're calling him the P word. They're saying that he cheated on his wife, that he does X, that he does, and none of these things are true. So it's just defamation. So actually Robbie Starbuck is suing, in the process of suing Google and some other platforms. But he has the financial means to do so. But getting back to the professor that said, I have had enough. This professor decided to federally sue the TikTok creator. And lo and behold, a miracle happens. A miracle. Let me see if I can get the video here. Okay, so the jury weighs in. Damages after the TikTok user falsely accused the University of Idaho professor in a murder case. Guess what? The professor was awarded $10 million. A federal jury weighing damages in a defamation case after the TikTok creator falsely accused a University of Idaho professor in a 2022 involvement in student murders, allegations that a judge already ruled were defamatory, is awarded $10 million. Okay, so we don't know whether or not the professor was a targeted individual. I can't confirm that or whatever, but this TikTok psychic who accused an innocent woman of murder got sued and was awarded $10 million. So boys and girls, men and women, it can happen. Okay, it can happen. You never know. And this will set a precedent for all those losers out there that are spreading false information about you. I don't care if it's InfraGard. I don't care if it's your neighbors. You never know when the gravel is going to come down and award you $10 million because somebody accuses you of something that you did not do. Okay? So, and I will show you here. And here it is again. $10 million. The first ever. Huge, huge, huge settlement. Whether or not she's going to get it from this woman is a whole nother story. We don't know what her assets are or whatever, but she's done. This TikTok influencer is done. And now she can actually be sued by TikTok. So you never know when the right person is going to file the right lawsuit against somebody for spreading lies, okay? And just for your information, telling the truth is not defamation, okay? So there's that one. And then I was reading from the Targeted Humans website, and this one caught my attention. So she's got a section here for InfraGard. Okay, so I clicked on InfraGard. There, she's got a section for InfraGard and then one for the COPS program, right? InfraGard, and these are not my words. This is information taken from the targetedhumans.org website. So InfraGard is a propaganda tool. The FBI has lied to 80,000 businesses across the United States. InfraGard engages in criminal activity and organizes businesses against targeted individuals. So I imagine that they're the ones that spoke to Dr. Rebecca Caleb Wilson, the only local veterinarian around here, to not take me as a client. And when I finally got her on the phone, she won't give me an appointment because I'm not friends with her friends, and she doesn't get me. I kid you not. And it's recorded. They allow the government to place electronics in their stores to activate and communicate with torture devices covertly implanted in the bodies of their victims. This system of implants is called a wireless body area network. It is meant to be implanted in every human being, maybe by 2030. This is for educational purposes only. I personally cannot confirm or deny. Have you heard that before? Wink, wink. I can't confirm or deny that this is true. Just like the FBI can't confirm or deny that I'm on any kind of a list in the name of national security. TIs are the first wave to be implanted, being used as clinical trials against their will. And I've got ants crossing my laptop right now because the criminals have stuck a bunch of ants on my laptop. So they're walking around everywhere. TIs are the first wave to be implanted using as clinical trials against their will. TIs are like I can't say the word, it starts with the letter J, ends in the letter W, being forced out of society. You know, sort of like the Massachusetts witch hunts, you know, when they burned witches at the stake. Well, they did that in Nazi Germany to certain groups of people, right? Didn't they do that? They're being forced out of society. The FBI tells businesses that targeted individuals are criminals that were the P word, murderers. That, and even though they don't have any criminal history to back it up, but people are stupid and they believe anything that they hear. Targeted individuals, we collectively, we're lawyers, doctors, teachers, artists, normal people who said no to drug dealing, said no to the advances of men in some positions of authority like sheriffs or other government agencies who wanted to have sex with them or wanted to have a date. They may have witnessed government drug cartels and vehicle theft on their street. They're tortured for the rest of their lives because of what they witnessed. And I actually witnessed in New Jersey what appeared to be the abduction of a woman against her will. She was being stuffed in a car. I've witnessed several traffic accidents. And yeah, if you see something, say something. Of course I reported it. I reported animals being dumped on my property, on my feral cat colony in New Jersey. I reported people stalking me when I had video evidence of it. Of course that was ignored. Evidence is usually ignored when you're a targeted person. So they are tortured for the rest of their lives because of what they witnessed. Eventually, they're killed. Stores are told to not let them shop without causing them pain, vibrations, and shocks. The infrastructure, I can't stand that word, communicates with targeted individuals' implants, or they are stalked by stalkers with phones which connect them. And I'm being targeted right now as I'm reading this to you guys. InfraGard is a criminal FBI operation. The FBI is entrenched for when the government seizes all property and no one owns anything. It's a socialist, Marxist, Nazi scheme from the World Economic Forum, the UN, the Agenda 3050, to take control of everything in America. And she provides the InfraGard fact sheet. It's a PDF. InfraGardNational.org. You can go locate that. Government Ultra Program Group Stalking authorized by Congress. FBI partnerships. I hate that one too. And the official private Office of Private Sector. So this includes Walmart, Publix, Target, Winn-Dixie, Dollar General, Cracker Barrel, and FBI InfraGard partners. They train those employees to stalk targeted individuals. The stores actually allow the government to place transceivers in the infrastructure of the building so they can strike people with directed energy using the infrastructure or cell phones. They use stalkers for the psychological component, and stalkers use apps on their cell phone to locate an individual, make a connection with an RFID chip or implant, and direct microwave energy to the person. The phone serves as a relay to GPS the victim so the energy can be sent directly to their implants. And implants can be nanotechnology, okay? For example, they'll hurt their feet and their legs, causing them to not be able to walk or do their shopping. In other words, and this is in nice red print, I'm not going to read this, but I'll show it to you. In other words, InfraGard is a secret stalking group working with the FBI, using businesses to harass and surveil people on the secret watch list. We're slander to companies, businesses, restaurants, doctors, and stalkers. They're told that we are this and that we deserve to be stalked. We're not criminals, but they are. We're stalked wherever we go. The group stalking is a constant in their lives. Our implants can be turned on from the street, so they are stalked in their own homes. So, what is the psychology of group stalking or gang stalking? It involves complex interplay between perpetrators and victims, often stemming from stalkers' deep-seated need for money, control, connection, or delusion. While victims experience intense trauma, isolation, depression, and post-traumatic stress disorder from organized harassment, leading to a profound loss of safety and autonomy. So the perpetrators, they seek dominance and connection, sometimes linked to their insecure attachments, like they were insecurely attached to their mommies and daddies growing up. So they need to find somebody in adulthood to feel attached to, like a psychotic group of people. Victims feel trapped, isolated, and constantly threatened, struggling with the disbelief of others, the gaslighting, etc. So I'm going to scroll up because I remember reading this on my channel a while back. Okay, so now this is from 4 years ago. Just so you know that what is written on this website is absolutely true. Now this is from the National Desk. Federal agencies paid informants $548 million, and many of them committing authorized crimes. Federal agencies paid at least $548 million in recent years to informants working for the Federal Bureau of Investigation. I have a hard time saying that because I call them my favorite Bureau of Instigation. The Drug Enforcement Agency, which is DEA, and the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, Explosives, the ATF. Oh, it's those people that I filed my complaints with the grenades being thrown on my property over a few years, 4 times. Nobody's gotten back to me. I wonder why. Many informants were authorized to commit crimes with the permission of their federal handlers.